If you think you've heard every walkaway story, trust me, this one will make you sit up in your seat. Because sometimes the classiest revenge is silence. Sometimes the boldest move a woman can make is simply choosing herself. And when I Harper Lane handed my boyfriend's past right back to him in front of 40 witnesses, I didn't raise my voice. I didn't cry. I just walked away so clean that the moment went viral in 3 cities. Before the story begins, hit like, comment your thoughts, and share this with someone who needs to hear a sign from the universe. Now, lean in. This is how I ended everything without saying anything more than 5 simple words. He's all yours now. It was a chilly Friday morning in Portland, Oregon, when I slid out from under the bathroom sink, wrench still in my hand and dust smeared across my cheek. I had been fixing a loose pipe before heading out for my shift at North Star Mechanical, the HVAC service company where I'd been working for 4 years. Just as I tightened the last bolt, I heard the front door slam. The frames on the hallway wall rattled. That slam wasn't casual. It was intentional. When I straightened up, I found him, Evan Marshall, 32, tall, well-dressed, arms crossed like he had rehearsed this moment 100 times. He looked like a teacher about to scold a student. Except this was my apartment, too. The place we had shared for the last 5 months. We need to talk about tomorrow, he said. Tomorrow was our housewarming party. 40 guests. Food ordered. Decorations ready. Playlist curated. A normal milestone for a couple. Or at least it should have been. I wiped my hands on a cloth. What about it? I asked, standing up straighter. Evan inhaled deeply, puffing his chest like he was about to deliver a TED Talk no one asked for. I invited someone, he said. Someone important to me, and I need you to be mature about it. The way he said mature felt like a slap. My stomach tensed. Who? I asked. Marissa. The air around me froze. Marissa Hayes, his ex of 4 years, who he claimed was like family and still part of his life, and who he still followed, liked, commented, and occasionally accidentally called because it's just habit. I placed the wrench on the counter with a soft, metallic click. You invited your ex to our housewarming, I repeated calmly. Yes, he said, his voice turning defensive. She and I are good friends. If you can't handle that, maybe you're not as secure as I thought. There it was, the push. The manipulation dressed as moral superiority. He continued, I need you to be calm, mature, not dramatic. Can you do that? Or is this going to be a problem? I stared at him. He expected a fight. He wanted one. He wanted to be the reasonable man telling his unstable girlfriend to calm down. But instead I smiled. Not sweetly, not warmly, but with a steady composure that even surprised me. I'll be extremely mature about it, I said. Promise. His eyebrow twitched. That wasn't the answer he wanted. He studied my face, searching for sarcasm, searching for a reaction he could control. He found nothing. Great, he said, relieved. Glad you're not going to freak out. He turned away, humming as he pulled out his phone, probably, texting someone about how understanding I was. The moment he disappeared into the bedroom, I exhaled slowly. Then I reached for my phone and texted my coworker and closest friend, Jenna, who was 31, divorced and owned the spare bedroom in her tiny bungalow. Is that room still open? Might need a place for a bit. Her reply came fast. Girl always. What happened? I'll explain tomorrow. Just need space. Say no more. Doors open. I set the phone down. My heart wasn't broken. It wasn't even cracked. It was awakening. That was the moment I knew I was leaving. For good. The next morning, Evan was still asleep when I quietly got ready for work. I tiptoed through the apartment like a ghost no one noticed. At North Star Mechanical, I went through my day like nothing was wrong. Changed 2 furnace motors, repaired a rooftop unit, installed ductwork in a new construction loft. At lunch, I sat in my work van, watching texts from Evan light up my phone, all about the party, the catering arrival, the wine choices, the guest confirmations, not a single mention of the ex he had crowned important. He thought the matter was settled. He thought his dominance was accepted. He had no idea the most mature, Response in the world was loading. Quietly in the background. After work, I drove to my credit union and transferred every dollar of my savings, 14,800 to a brand new account he didn't know existed. Then I placed my passport, birth certificate, my late father's pocket watch, the photo albums from my childhood, and my laptop into a duffel bag hidden beneath the back seat of my van. Not running, not hiding, preparing. When I got home, Evan was buzzing around the apartment with shopping bags from Target and Home Goods. Fairy lights, candles, disposable plates. He was in full host mode. "Help me with these lights?" he asked. "Of course," I said. Calm, ice steady. We spent an hour decorating. He talked and talked and talked. I nodded and nodded and planned. When he wasn't looking, I quietly moved a stack of my clothes into my van. A few sweaters, a pair of jeans, work boots, slowly, invisibly, because maturity isn't loud, it's strategic. Later that night, after pizza, after small talk, after he bragged again about how cool, I was for accepting Marissa's presence. He finally went to shower. That's when I opened the closet and pulled out my suitcase. I didn't take much, only the things that mattered. I packed silently, quickly, efficiently. When he came out, I was casually scrolling my phone like nothing had happened. "You excited for tomorrow?" he asked, settling on the couch. "Oh, incredibly," I said. And I meant it. Next morning, he sent me out for ice and extra craft beer. I took my time at Safeway, walking slowly, knowing every minute was part of an ending he didn't see coming. When I returned, the apartment was filled with the smell of hors d'oeuvres warming in the oven. Music checking. Lights dimmed. Decorations perfect. Guests began arriving around 3:45 p.m. His work friends. His gym friends. His sister's college roommate. People I barely knew. I hosted politely. Poured drinks. Smiled. Answered questions about the apartment even though I knew I was hours from never seeing it again. My friend Jenna arrived and pulled me aside. "Harper, what's happening?" "Something's off." "Stay close," I whispered. "You'll see." At exactly 5:12 p.m., Evan kept glancing at the door, checking his watch, fixing his hair. He was waiting for her. And when the doorbell finally rang, he lit up like a man awaiting a trophy. But I reached the door first. I opened it. And there she was, Marissa, 29, stunning, polished, holding 2 bottles of Napa Valley Pinot Noir like she was entering a photo shoot. She smiled brightly. "Hi, I'm Marissa. Great to finally meet you." And I, Harper Lane, age 30, HVAC tech, woman with nothing left to prove, took her hand, smiled back politely, and said the 5 words that detonated the room. "He's all yours now." Silence. Pure, hard, stunned silence. 40 people frozen. Evan staring. Marissa blinking. I let go of her hand. Reached calmly for my leather jacket from the rack. Slipped it on. Took one slow look around the room. "Enjoy the party, everyone," I said softly, and without a single tremble in my voice or heart. I walked out the door. When the door closed behind me, the chill of the Oregon evening brushed against my face. But inside my chest was a warmth, quiet, confident, victorious. I didn't rush. I didn't cry. Not even a shaky breath. Instead, I walked down those apartment steps like I was stepping into a new version of myself. My van was parked across the street, packed silently the night before, ready like a trusted friend waiting for me to wake up. As I reached the van, I heard the apartment door slam open behind me. His voice sliced through the evening air. "Harper!" Evan shouted, disbelief twisting his tone. "What the hell is this? What are you doing?" I didn't turn immediately. I let him come closer. Let him feel the weight of not being in control for the first time. When he finally reached me, breath heavy, face flushed with humiliation from the audience watching through the windows, I turned calmly. "You wanted maturity," I said softly. "This is what it looks like." He blinked like he didn't understand English. "You're being dramatic." "You made a scene." "I didn't raise my voice," I said. "Didn't fight. Didn't accuse. Didn't embarrass you." I held his gaze. You invited your ex to a party that was supposed to celebrate us, a life we were building, and you told me to be mature about it. So I was. His jaw flexed. You're throwing us away over something small? You're being insecure. That word again, his favorite poison. Insecure women scream, I said. Confident women leave. His eyes hardened. You're overreacting. Marissa is important to me. She's part of my past. Exactly, I said. Your past. Not my present. And definitely not my future. He stepped back, stunned. I reached for the van door. Good luck explaining this inside. And trust me, they saw everything. His mouth opened, but nothing came out. For once, he had no script. No rehearsed explanation. No narrative where he got to be the victim. I got inside my van, started the engine, and drove away from the apartment, from him, from the version of myself that tolerated the bare minimum wrapped in fake charm. I drove straight to Jenna's house. Her porch light was already on when I pulled into the driveway. The moment I stepped out, she opened the front door, face full of shock and excitement. Harper! That was wow. I've never seen you walk away like that. You didn't even look back. I threw my duffel on her couch and sank into it. I thought I'd feel sad, I admitted. But I don't. I feel free. Jenna handed me a glass of ginger ale. I took a sip, letting the fizz settle my nerves. You know why you feel free? She said. Because you didn't just leave him. You left the version of yourself that thought you needed someone like him. She sat beside me, tucking her legs under herself. Tell me everything. I did. Every detail. Every red flag I had ignored. How Evan always kept one foot in his past. How he craved validation from women he claimed not to care about. How he made me feel guilty for wanting boundaries. Jenna shook her head. Girl, he was emotionally auditioning old chapters, while expecting you to act like the final one. I exhaled a laugh. Exactly. After an hour, I showered and slipped into one of Jenna's oversized sweatshirts. My body was tired, but my mind felt sharp, like clarity had finally arrived. I slept in her spare bedroom, the scent of lavender drifting from the diffuser she kept on the nightstand. No nightmares. No overthinking. Just deep, uninterrupted peace. The next morning, my phone buzzed nonstop. Missed calls, texts, voicemails. My screen filled with Evan's attempts to rewrite what had happened. We need to talk. You misunderstood. You overreacted. Come home so we can discuss this like adults. You embarrassed me. I can't believe you left like that. Please, can we fix this? I turned my phone off. I wasn't interested in playing translator. For someone who only understood his own language. I spent the morning helping Jenna rearrange her living room and fixing her broken thermostat. Around noon, I went outside to sweep her porch when a silver SUV pulled up. Evan, I closed my eyes briefly, gathering calmness like armor. He stormed out of the car. You blocked me? Really? That's your grand maturity? I rested the broom against the railing. What do you want, Evan? I want answers, he snapped. Why would you leave me like that? I didn't leave you, I said. I left who you are. You're punishing me for inviting a friend, he spat. A friend? I repeated. You called her important. You hid conversations with her. You compared me to her. You kept her in a role she didn't belong in anymore. He scoffed. You're twisting it. If it was harmless, I said, you wouldn't need to defend it this hard. He stepped closer. Come home. No. His eyes widened. What do you mean, no? I mean, no, I said again. As in, I'm done. He stared like the word physically struck him. You're not thinking clearly. You love me. I did, I replied. But I love myself more. He scoffed again, rubbing his face. This is crazy. You're overreacting. You ruined everything. Wrong, I said gently. I saved myself. He pointed at me like a prosecutor. You'll regret this. Maybe, I said. But I doubt it. He stood there, breathing hard, trying to regain the upper hand. When he realized he couldn't, his posture changed. His voice softened. Harper, please. I messed up. I know I did. But walking out like that, it made me look like an idiot. You did that yourself. I said quietly. I just walked away. A long silence settled between us. Wind rustled through the maple tree above us. Somewhere down the street, a dog barked. Finally, he whispered, "So this is it?" "Yes," I said. "This is it." He nodded slowly, heartbreak flashing across his face. Not the heartbreak of losing love, but the heartbreak of losing control. And then he left. No dramatic exit. No shouting. No begging. Just a quiet, defeated walk back to his SUV. I watched the car disappear around the corner. And just like that, the chapter ended. Over the next few days, I fell into a rhythm. Work, help Jenna, cook dinner together. Late night movies. Healing didn't feel dramatic. It felt practical, grounded, real. One evening, after a long shift repairing AC units at a lakeside cottage, Jenna and I sat on her porch drinking iced tea. "So," she said playfully, "what's next for you?" I gazed up at the sky. The sun was setting in streaks of pink and orange. "I think it's time I get my own place," I said. "A little house. Somewhere quiet. Somewhere that's mine." "I love that," she said. "And I think you're ready." "I am," I said. "More than ever." A week later, I found it, a small rental house on the east side of Portland. Blue shutters, a porch swing, a tiny backyard perfect for morning coffee. I signed the lease the same day. As I moved my things in, I played music loud, dancing between empty rooms, feeling a joy I hadn't felt in years. Independence wasn't lonely. It was liberating. Peace wasn't quiet, it was powerful. On my first night there, I sat on the porch swing, wrapped in a blanket, listening to the crickets. I pulled out my phone and opened the camera. I recorded a message, not for Evan, not for closure, but for myself. "Sometimes the strongest thing you can do," I said into the lens, "is walk away before someone pushes you to break." Sometimes maturity isn't holding on, it's letting go with grace. I ended the recording, saved it, and smiled. 'Cause my story wasn't about heartbreak. It was about choosing myself, about walking away without shouting, about leaving quietly but powerfully. And if you're listening to this story, right now, if you're watching this video, then hear me clearly. You deserve someone who chooses you fully. Not halfway, not conditionally, not as backup, completely. So if you're standing at your own crossroads, choose you. Walk away if you must, and do it with dignity, because sometimes silence is the loudest statement you will ever make. Before you go, hit like to support the channel. Comment your thoughts, share this with someone who needs strength, and subscribe for more stories that remind you of your worth. And always remember, leaving isn't losing. Leaving is leveling up.